request recently to put together. Said, "Hey, you don't have any Peter Frampton songs up there?" Duh. You're right. We didn't. How could I miss one of the biggest stars of the mid '70s? And earlier, when I was in high school, we played a bunch of tunes by a bunch of songs from Humble Pie, which of course included Peter Frampton. But somehow, anyway, his songs. I have no excuse for not doing. We'll get to that one too. Not today. Probably not today. Anyway, Frampton was again, like one of the biggest stars of the mid '70s, and it was particularly because of this album, 1976, Frampton Comes Alive, recorded right here in San Francisco, most of it at Winterland. And he had been, he'd been kind of a child star. When he was 15, 16, he was playing in bands in England. By the time he was 18, he joined up with Steve Marriott, who had just been with the Small Faces, sung stuff like Ichiku Park. That's Steve, not Peter. And made a few albums with Humble Pie. And as soon as their live album went big, just before Rockin' the Fillmore went big, he left the band, decided to start on a solo career. Made a few albums. Frampton's Camel was one I definitely remember having. And then the fourth one included this. Of course, you know what song we're talking about, Baby, I Love Your Way, right? And it's still, this was 1975. It still didn't happen till he went out on tour. His live tour from 1976, where the album came out in '76, just was one of the biggest records around for a couple of years, and he has since. He's still a joy to watch on TV or with YouTube. We don't have TV anymore, right? There are some great live acoustic versions of him playing this. Some alone with just a 12-string in what was clearly a benefit for like a PBS station or something. On the Howard Stern show, where now most of the live ones, and especially later, his guitar's tuned down a half step. So and the 12-string, he's got it tuned down a whole step, but capoed at the first. Anyway, so if you try playing along with most of the acoustic versions, there are a couple really early ones that are up at standard pitch. Anyway, since I'm not going to sing this, it doesn't matter. We're doing this at standard pitch. Now, there are some really cool things about this song. A lot of it is derivative. He did fess up to Howard that if it weren't for this, he never would have come up with these chords. Of course, that was right out of Blackbird. Little derivative of Little Dylan, too. Anyway, but what songs aren't? So, this is a fabulous tune, really fun to play on the guitar. The strumming is pretty basic, and so we're not going to break it down to strumming patterns, but I'll talk about some of the places you need accent notes as we run through the progression. We've got a couple of really jazzy chords. Anyway, coming up, I will walk you through Baby, I Love Your Way.